Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be ranking all the Brawl Stars Brawlers into tier lists. So, we're going to be starting with Shelly and then move all the way to Squeak. Alright, so Shelly, I would say she's in the C tier. And that's only because of Shelly's versatility, because of her super, and Clay Pigeons also with the Band-Aid star power. So that's why I would say she's not as good as someone like Bull or like Edgar, say. Even though she might win on a one-on-one with them if she has her super, I still think that Bull or El Primo or Rosa even would be a better brawler to use. But Shelly's a very decent starter, and that's why I put her in a C and not D tier. Alright, Colt. Colt used to be one of the best brawlers in the game, but now I would put him in B tier. It's because they're much better snipers and long-range brawlers, such as Bele now, Squeak, 8-Bit, Leon, Crow, Spike, Rico. All these are much better options, but Colt's not bad either. Colt, the only reason I would put him in this B tier slot is because his silver bullet got nerfed. Alright, Nita. Nita would be in B tier because Nita is actually pretty good since her star powers and her gadget of faux fur is actually very good, and Bear With Me and Hyper Bear are both very solid star powers for Nita, so she's a pretty solid brawler all around, so I would put her in that tier. Alright, next up is Jessie, and I would put Jessie in A tier. She's pretty good in all of the modes usually, and she does quite a lot of damage with her normal attack, and her super with the gadget and star power is pretty scary, and she's pretty good all-around brawler, so that's why I'll put her in A tier. Alright, next is Dynamite, and I will put him in B tier. Dynamite's actually pretty good, but since now Barley is in the meta and Sprout and all these other throwers, Dynamite and Squeak for that matter, Dynamite kind of isn't that competitive, but he's still competitive for like lower trophies. He's still very good. Alright, El Primo, I'm sorry, but you have to go in D tier, and the reason why is because he has a short range. His super, El Fugo's good and all, but it's not that useful, and yeah, especially since now we have like Bele, Surge, Colette, all these far range brawlers, especially in higher trophies. No one really uses really close range or say tanky brawlers other than like Frank, 8-Bit, Rosa, those kind of things, but like El Primo has no versatility, so that's why he's down here so low. Alright, Brock, I would be in C tier, and the only reason why is because there are better snipers now, like Bele and Nani and like Piper. They all have farther range and stuff, so yeah. Bo has to go in D tier. Sorry, even though Bo, if you use him correctly, is pretty good, and the nanny with the super totem is pretty cheese, especially with Peep, but I don't think that he's very competitive at all, since he misses his arrows. Like, it's not very accurate. And even if you hit one, that's barely enough damage to take out an enemy. So yeah, Bull will also go in D tier for the same reasons as El Primo, and yeah, that's about it for Bull. Alright, for Spike, I'll put him in A tier, since with his curveball star power and his gadget of poppin' pincushion, he can counter things like Edgar or people who want to get near him, and his attack, the cactus, which splits, which is very useful, especially if the enemy is hiding behind walls. The only reason I would put him in A instead of S is because there are a lot of bouncers like Jessie and Belle, and Squeak can kind of hit through walls, I guess. So that's why I would put him in A. Alright, next Crow. Crow has to go in A as well. It's because he's competitive in against close range. You would think that Crow would be weak to close range, but he actually manages to keep his distance in most of the cases I've seen. and he usually just chip damage, and then with his daggers, and then his super is helpful, especially if you want to run away or if you want to do extra damage. And then Crow can deal a lot of damage front up, or he can stay back and chip. So that's why I think he's in A tier. All right, Mortis will be in, oh, not Mortis. Mortis will be in B tier. It's because, like, he doesn't do that much damage, but he can really dish out a lot with his gadgets and star powers, but he's not exactly the best. So I would say that he would be in B tier since they're just better versions of him. Like, no one really uses him anymore. All right, Carl is going to be in C tier. The reason why is because he has 1 ammo, and it kind of takes a while to get him reload because his mining axe, I guess, takes a while to come back. And it's just that his super, where he spins around, I mean, like, it's not like it's going to do that much damage anymore. And people can counter him, like, now in the higher trophies. But, like, for low trophy grinding, he's actually very good. So for low trophy grinding, he's good, but for high trophies, yeah, you don't want to use him. Okay, so Barley will go in S tier. He has so much range, and you would think, why is Barley? I'll tell you 2 reasons. He has a lot of versatility, and he can attack with his bottles or fireballs if you have Wizard Barley, which most of you probably have. But he has a lot of support to the team, so he can do chip damage and then have the team take the rest out. And I played him in Hot Zone a lot. He's a beast, so you should want to play Barley in these modes. All right, next, Rico. Rico is going to go in the B tier, and that's only because of the same reasons as Colt. Like, they're just better people who do the same thing out there. All right, Poco. Poco actually goes in S tier because of his decapo ability, where he can heal brawlers, and also because he's a good support, like a solid support. So, okay. Piper is going to go in B tier, and that's just because they're better, like, snipers like Bele, and they're just better ones. So that's why Piper would go in B tier. And yeah, next, Pam would go in A tier because Pam, with her star power, is really good. She can heal other brawlers by just attacking, and then her super is really decent. So she's probably in A tier, one of the good brawlers. Right, Tara's going in A tier is because Tara can easily pierce through enemies with cards, so she's good at team wiping. And her super just looks really cool, and it can bring someone back. And it's useful in Brawl Ball if the enemy has a ball and they're going to the goal, and then the super just brings it back. It's basically just good for, like, controlling an area of the game. Tara's good at controlling an area. All right, next up is Daryl, and he's going in the C tier. Unfortunately for Daryl, his gadget is good, recoiling rotator, and he can roll over walls, water, but, there are many counters to him, and, like, he's not really that good anymore. Alright, Frank is going in the A tier, and that's because of his gadget, and he can be immune to stuns and all knockbacks and all that, which is super good, especially since there's so many brawlers who can stun, knockback, and do all those things. So having Frank with his gadget is a super big plus. Alright, Penny's gonna go in the D tier. Sadly for Penny, her turret isn't really accurate unless someone's just gonna stand there and do nothing, which I'm not exactly sure that they will do. Which is not really, no one's gonna just stand there and do nothing. And then Penny's splash, it's okay. She doesn't deal a lot of damage with her coins, and plus there are more bouncing and splashing options that you could use. So why would you use Penny if you have better options? Alright, next is Leon, and Leon's in A tier. And the reason I say that is because of Invisi-Heal. Invisi-Heal really buffs up Leon, especially since he can heal 1,000 damage per second. So he'll heal 5,000 damage per time he wants to use it. And also because he's really good at being stealthy and then quickly demolishing other enemies with his ninja stars. Alright, Tick. Tick has to go in A tier. He is literally one of the most annoying brawlers in the game. I vote him as the most annoying brawler. His tick head, and he just lays mines so you can never move. And like if you never move, it just blows up. Like you're gonna get hit at least once if tick surrounds your area. And then the tick head, don't get me started on that. That thing does so much damage. I mean, people can still like destroy it before the cannon comes, but it's kind of hard, especially if you're in like low health or yeah. Alright, Jean's going in S tier. And the only reason why Jean's going in S tier is because Jean's support is really good. Plus, the super is a threat to all sharpshooters like Spike, Crow, like, because Jean deals up more damage than Crow or Bull, or, I mean, not Bull, Bo, or Penny, like, and Brock and Cole. So, like, all those things, like, Jean has a really big threat if he has a super, his hand. And then the fact that Jean's power orb can split after a while is a big plus. So that means he can check bushes. He can, even if he can't really attack in the range, he'll still hit at least one or two. Like that does 400 damage each. So that's good. Alright, Rosa. Rosa's going in B tier because of her star powered thorny gloves. If she has her super, she can, her punches deal 200 more damage each. So that would mean plus 600 damage for each attack, which is actually pretty good. And her super takes a lot of her damage, so that's pretty good. Yeah. And then she deals quite a lot of damage and has decent health. So yeah, definitely better than El Primo. So that's why. Alright, BB. BB is going in B tier. And the only reason why BB is going in B tier is because of knockback. The knockback. But the gadget is okay. Like, it's not the best gadget, but it's like a decent gadget. Kind of like Byron's. It's not the best, but it's okay. Like, it's pretty much the exact same thing as Byron's. So that's the only reason why BB's in B. Plus, she deals a good amount of damage, but the health is kind of low considering other attackers like Rosa, Daryl, El Primo, and Bull. But the only reason why she's in B is because knockback and her supers I can wipe out. Alright, 8-Bit. 8-Bit is going in the S tier. And the reason why is because plugged in, he can absolutely dodge and destroy. And then with the extra credits gadget, he can deal up to like 13,000 with one attack. And like, yeah. And then his super and his his super, he it's an attack booster. I mean, like, who doesn't want their attack to get boosted? Like, seriously. If you don't, then there's something wrong. And his second gadget is actually good in case he wants to get out of trouble. Like for heist, if you put siege, if you put the super near like the edge, and then spawn when no one's looking, you can easily destroy the siege or heist safe or siege factory. So yeah, that's why. Sandy's gonna go in the A tier, and the only reason why Sandy's going in the A tier is because of her star powers are actually pretty good. Unfriendly Sands, if you just put it in the middle of an enemy, it does chip damage, and then you can finish it off. Plus and then Friendly Sands, I think that's what it's called. It heals your teammates, so that's a big plus. So like if your team is low, just use your super if you have it, and then it'll heal plus give you invisibility. So like Sandy's pretty sneaky, and that's why she's an A tier. Alright, Ems is also an A tier, is because like she can, like, her positioning, like she can control a big area of the game, so that's why Ems is an A tier. And her super can like counter tanks or Mortis, like who can hard counter her, so that's why she's in A tier. Alright, B is in B tier. The only reason why B's in B tier is because of her supercharged star power. The star power, which allows her to get her supercharged attack back, even though she missed it, is the only reason why she's in B. Otherwise, she would be in C or maybe even D. Alright, Max is an S. The only reason Max is an S is because, oops, not D. S is because she has 4 ammo and her run and gun star power really helps her reload fast. So she has 4 ammo, and on top of that, in Brawl Ball she can easily just juke all of the fire and then take the ball and score it. So that's why Max is an S tier. Alright, Mr. P is an A tier. And the reason why he's an A tier is because of his gadget. He can easily locate enemies, and he's like a 2-in-1, like a thrower and a sharpshooter. So that's why I vote him as A tier. I know some people might disagree, but I just think he's A tier. Alright, C tier is Jackie. The only reason why Jackie's in C tier is because of the small range, and often her holy moly super doesn't really do much except bring the enemies in. But the only reason why she's in C tier as well instead of D is because of hard hat. She takes 15% less damage, so that helps her become more protective, I guess. Alright, Sprout. Sprout's going in B tier. And Garden Mulcher is not really a good gadget. I mean, like, it depends on how you look at it. Because Garden Mulcher, I mean, like, they should really replace it, because, like, what's the point of destroying your super and using it again? I mean, like, it's good, but still, I would replace that gadget with something more valuable to the game. But Sprout has a lot of range, and her super can block, so that's why she's in B tier. I mean, is it a he or a she? I think it's a she, but it's a robot, so it's hard to tell. Anyway, Gale wasn't as good as it used to be. He's in C tier now. You can almost never get all 6 of his snowballs to hit on one target. Like, it's practically impossible. I went up to a box last Sunday, and I tried to hit all 6 snowballs to the box. It didn't work. And also to a target, same thing. It didn't work. Yeah, sad. Anyway, alright, Nanny is gonna go in A. Nanny adds a lot of versatility to your team, especially if you have Bo with the super totem. But yeah, Nanny's Peep Cheese on Siege and Knockout, that's scary. You're done for, you know that. Peep, and also her star power that gives her a shield when she's doing Peep is super good, because even if you're in a vulnerable spot and you have her super, you can still use Peep to knock out the enemy. So that's still really good. Alright, Surge is going in B tier. And the only reason why is because he's slow and he has a slow reload speed. If he had a normal reload speed or a normal pace, he would be an A, but the fact is that he's just slow and he has a slow reload speed. And there's nothing really special about his attack except that it splits. So that's why he's in B tier. But his super is really good. He can level up and stuff. So that's why he's in B tier. Okay, Colette is an S tier. And why Colette is an S tier is because her taxing shot can do a lot of damage. And it can do a lot of damage to Franks, Daryl's, Primos, basically any tank. She's basically a team player. And then her super and the star power that pushes it to the far point of the attack is really good. So that's why she's an S tier. Alright, Amber's also an S tier is because she can do so much of damage in so little time. And her super and star power, they're really good. And then her gadget gives her an extra speed boost along with dropping puddles. So yeah, that's really good. And her star power allows her to get 2 puddles, and she reloads twice as fast. Alright, Lou's in C tier. Lou's an okay brawler. Like, he's a pretty average brawler. Because, yeah, he has 3 that does 500 damage? 550 at max, I think. And then his super, I mean, like, if you know the way to escape it, it's pretty easy to escape. So that's why. Alright, Byron's an A tier. And the reason why he's an A tier is because he can heal both friendlies and damage enemies with the same attack. And with his super, he can heal enemies with his vial, I think, or jar that he puts on the ground to heal like 2,000 damage to friendlies, or 2,000 damage to enemies. Alright, Edgar's in B tier. He isn't as good as you think. He got nerfed. I mean, like, he's not really good now. People can counter him. Daryl can counter him. Leon can counter him. Jean can counter him. There's a lot of counters to him now. Like Surge, if at the right distance, you can counter him. Pretty much most tanks can counter him except Frank. Sad Frank. Alright, Colonel Ruffs is an A tier. Colonel Ruffs is actually a very good all-around player, especially since his support and star power, where his friendly's max health can go to plus 30 every second they stay near him. So basically, they can just camp until they're at like 5,000 plus more health, and then they can just attack. Plus, the super gives them a boost, attack boost, and a defense boost. And his laser attack can bouncy. So that's why he's in A tier. Well, actually, he's in S tier because of his bounce. Okay, Stu has to be in S tier. Stu is literally one of the most competitive brawlers right now. He can attack, and his super, it's just non-stop supers for him. Like, he just dashes. I mean, like, it's small dash, but his star power can make up for that. So, like, he just dashes. He just shoots a firework, dashes. Shoots a firework, dashes. Alright, Belle is also in S tier because of her long-range sniping and the fact that it bounces, and her super and can mark an enemy so it does more damage. And her star power that makes herself 25% shield when she hits a target is really good, especially since if it's like an Edgar or a Mortis or something. Alright, Squeak is gonna go in S tier as well, and he's really good. He is obnoxious. He literally, he can snipe you from off the map, like, and it's super full of dog toys. Like, it just goes all the way. And if you're, like, near, and if you get stuck to the super, you're gone. And then his dog toys, you can get stuck to him, and you're gone. So, yeah. Okay, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. And if you have any other, like, opinions about where Brawler should go, please chat in the comments if there are. And tell me which ones you agreed with. And thank you for watching.